The air hummed softly, and the trees whispered ancient secrets through their leaves as Buddha prepared to speak. A disciple named Anand sat nearby, his gaze distant and his heart heavy from the pain of unrequited love. Buddha turned toward Anand, his presence radiant and gentle, carrying the weight of compassion that softened the hardest sorrows. Anand, Buddha began. A broken heart is not a void, but a vessel brimming with the potential for transformation. Anand lowered his eyes, tears threatening to spill as the memories of rejection surfaced with sharp, unyielding clarity. Buddha continued. Heartbreak carves deep into the soul, yet it creates space where wisdom can grow like seeds in fertile soil. The other disciples listened attentively, each lost in their own reflections of love, lost in the ache of shattered hopes. Buddha paused, allowing the wind to carry his words, before adding, "Pain is a teacher, and suffering its classroom." Anand asked softly, "Master, how can one survive the piercing agony that seems to cloud all paths forward?" Buddha nodded in understanding, then replied, "You survive by not fleeing from pain, but embracing it as part of your humanity. You must face the pain," Buddha said, "for within its depths lies the pathway toward liberation and self-awareness." I struggled with his words, their simplicity masking a complexity I could not immediately grasp. "But Master," I continued, "how can we not cling to the people we love? The joys we experience? Are these not natural? To love without clinging is the highest form of compassion," Buddha replied, his hands resting lightly on his knees. Anand whispered, "My heart feels shattered, Master, like broken glass that cannot reflect what once brought me joy." Buddha responded, "A shattered heart mirrors the truth that life itself is transient, flowing like a river never ceasing its course. In every shard lies a lesson," Buddha continued, "a fragment of wisdom that, pieced together, can transform suffering into enlightenment." The disciples murmured their agreement, their individual experiences weaving into the larger tapestry of Buddha's teachings. Buddha gestured toward the horizon, where the sun began to set, casting golden rays across the landscape. "Look at the setting sun," Buddha said, a metaphor for endings that hold the promise of new beginnings waiting to unfold. Anand asked, his voice trembling, "How can one find courage to mend a heart when despair feels eternal?" Buddha spoke with profound calm. "Courage does not mean the absence of fear. It means moving forward despite the presence of fear. Within you lies infinite strength," Buddha assured Anand, "a reservoir of resilience waiting to be discovered and harnessed. You must believe in your ability to heal," Buddha instructed. Even when the road ahead seems obscured by shadows of doubt, the disciples drew closer, hanging on each word, seeking solace in the wisdom Buddha so effortlessly imparted. Buddha emphasized, "Do not dwell in despair, for it chains your soul and stifles your growth toward freedom and love. Instead, transform despair into compassion," Buddha said. "Extend kindness to yourself and others as the foundation for renewal. Striving without clinging is the path of the awakened," he said. "Act with purpose, but free yourself from the attachment to results. In doing so, you align with the flow of the universe." The disciple nodded, though his expression still bore the weight of contemplation. Silence followed, sacred and poignant, each disciple reflecting on the truths Buddha had shared under the ancient Bodhi tree. Buddha rose, his presence magnified by the wisdom he had imparted, his disciples now empowered to mend their hearts. Anand wiped his tears, feeling a shift within, as if a new chapter in his life had quietly begun. The night descended gently, and the stars appeared, shimmering reminders of hope and light even in the darkness. Another day, another morning bathed in the golden glow of the sun as Buddha sat beneath the sacred Bodhi tree. The air was serene, carrying the faint songs of birds through the leaves that trembled in the gentle morning breeze. Buddha's disciples gathered around him, seeking wisdom to navigate their heartbreaks and the sorrows lingering in their hearts. He addressed them softly. Life flows like the river, ever changing, carrying us through joy and sorrow, forever shifting its course. A disciple named Sujata, burdened by her grief, asked, "Master, how can I release the weight of love that clings so tightly?" Buddha looked at her with infinite compassion and replied, "Release does not mean forgetting but transcending, honoring love while moving forward. Impermanence is the nature of all things," Buddha continued, "and clinging to the past only resists the inevitable changes of life." The disciples listened intently, their hearts moved by Buddha's voice as it carried truths they yearned to grasp and understand. Sujata's eyes filled with tears as she whispered, "Master, does letting go not diminish the love we once cherished?" Buddha gently shook his head and said, "True love is boundless, untainted by possession or permanence. It transforms, it grows, it liberates." In releasing attachment, Buddha explained, "You do not betray the love. You honor its essence by allowing its transformation." The leaves rustled above them as Buddha's words sank deeply into the hearts of all present, offering solace and guidance. He gestured to the blossoming lotus flowers nearby, their beauty born from the muddy depths of the pond beneath them. "Look at the lotus," Buddha said, "a symbol of renewal and growth, rising from the mud into radiant beauty above." The disciples gazed at the flowers, their spirits lifted by the metaphor of hope in the midst of pain and struggle. Sujata asked hesitantly, "Master, how does one learn to release attachment when the heart holds on with unwavering resolve?" Buddha replied, "Release is an act of courage, not rejection. It is the embrace of change and the acceptance of life's flow. Fear may cloud your soul," Buddha added, "but courage shines through when you trust the river to carry you forward." Sujata wiped her tears, inspired by the gentle yet powerful wisdom Buddha bestowed through his words and his radiant presence. "You must acknowledge your pain," Buddha continued, "and within its shadow, seek the light of impermanence that guides toward liberation." The disciples nodded in unison, their hearts yearning to let go of sorrow and rediscover joy in the flow of life. "Do not bind your soul to the past," Buddha instructed, "but let it soar freely toward the infinite potential of tomorrow." The sunlight danced on the surface of the pond, its ripples a reminder of life's ever-changing and transient nature. Buddha smiled softly and said, "In every moment of change lies a gift, a lesson, and the seeds of transformation." He paused for a moment, allowing his disciples to reflect deeply on his words as they gazed at the flowing river nearby. Sujata's voice trembled as she asked, "Master, will the memories not haunt us once we let go of attachment and embrace impermanence?" Buddha responded calmly, "Memories are not burdens. They are blessings when held lightly, teaching you wisdom without chaining your heart to sorrow. Let your memories live as gentle reminders," Buddha added, "carrying the warmth of love, not the weight of despair." The disciples felt their spirits lift as Buddha spoke, his teachings shedding light on paths they had never before envisioned clearly. "Trust in impermanence," Buddha urged, "and you will discover freedom, boundless joy, and the beauty hidden within the flow of life." Sujata bowed her head, her heart open and ready to accept the wisdom that Buddha so generously shared that luminous morning. The wind carried Buddha's teachings across the village, touching hearts near and far with truths profound and healing. "Heartbreak is an invitation to transform," Buddha concluded, "to awaken to life's possibilities and embrace liberation through impermanence and compassion." Silence enveloped the gathering as Buddha's disciples absorbed his wisdom, their hearts moving closer to healing and enlightenment. The morning passed gracefully, and the river continued its eternal flow, a reflection of life's unstoppable rhythm and gentle impermanence. Another day. Another dawn kissed by the light of the rising sun. Buddha sat beneath the mighty Bodhi tree. The disciples gathered around him, their hearts eager to embrace wisdom that would lead them toward healing and new beginnings. Buddha's eyes shone with serenity, his presence offering solace like a steady beacon in the turbulent seas of life. A disciple named Kamala spoke first, her voice trembling. "Master, I fear beginning anew, for the past still haunts my thoughts." Buddha regarded her gently and replied, "Fear is natural, Kamala, yet courage rises when you act despite the shadows of doubt. To start over," Buddha said, "is not to erase the past but to integrate its lessons into the fabric of your being." The disciples listened closely, each heart yearning for the wisdom that would guide their steps toward transformation and renewal. Kamala asked hesitantly, "Master, how does one embrace courage when the weight of despair feels insurmountable and darkens the future?" Buddha nodded with understanding and said, "Courage is found in trusting yourself, in believing the light will pierce through even the deepest darkness. Trust your inner strength." Buddha continued, "As the earth trusts the sun to rise, bringing warmth and illumination each morning." The breeze carried Buddha's words, weaving through the disciples' hearts like threads of hope, restoring the fabric of their spirits. To begin anew, Buddha said, is to plant the seeds of possibility and nurture them with kindness, patience, and perseverance. Kamala's gaze softened, her heart absorbing Buddha's teachings as if a flickering flame of hope had been reignited within her. Buddha gestured toward the sky, where birds soared freely, their movements an emblem of courage in embracing the vast unknown. "Let these birds remind you," Buddha said, "that freedom and discovery arise when you spread your wings to face the unknown." The disciples exchanged glances, each pondering the ways they could find the courage to embrace new beginnings in their own lives. Buddha's voice resonated deeply as he added, "Starting over is not the act of returning, but the choice to create anew." Kamala asked, her voice steadier now, "Master, how can one walk forward when the pain of the past still lingers like shadows?" Buddha replied, "The path forward is not devoid of pain. It is walked with mindfulness, transforming pain into wisdom and growth. Pain is a guide," Buddha continued, "helping you navigate the valleys of life to emerge stronger, brighter, and more resilient." The disciples felt their spirits lift as Buddha's teachings illuminated paths they had struggled to envision in moments of despair. Buddha gestured toward the lotus flowers nearby, their petals radiant despite growing from the muddy depths of the pond below. Like the lotus, Buddha said, your soul can rise from sorrow, finding beauty, grace, and light in the midst of struggle. Kamala's heart lightened as she felt the stirrings of courage and hope. Inspired by Buddha's words and his compassionate presence, each step forward, Buddha explained, is an act of bravery, a testament to the strength you hold within your own being. The sun climbed higher, its rays casting golden light across the gathering, a reminder of renewal found in the passing of time. Buddha smiled softly and said, "The past is a teacher, not a prison. Its lessons guide your steps, not hold you back." Kamala whispered, "Master, I wish to start anew, yet I feel I will lose myself without the anchor of the familiar." Buddha responded with infinite calm. Starting over is not losing yourself. It is discovering more of yourself that remains hidden beneath fear. Have faith in your ability to heal, Buddha said, and you will uncover the boundless potential waiting within your soul. The disciples reflected on Buddha's teachings, their hearts embracing the promise of new beginnings despite the remnants of lingering sorrow. Buddha concluded, every heartbreak carries the opportunity to grow, to awaken, and to create a life rich with purpose and love. Silence followed, the disciples absorbing the magnitude of Buddha's wisdom as the wind carried his words toward the distant horizons. The day advanced gently, its rhythm embracing impermanence and reminding the disciples of life's ever-changing beauty and boundless possibilities. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.